For a very long time, the Valkyrie sovereignty ruled the stars. Not one galaxy. Not two. They had bridges between spirals, dark tunnels of folded space that connected whole clusters. Their symbol, 3 burning spirals around a black sun, hung over 1,000 worlds. In the crystal throne hall of Crown Nexus, a city station bigger than many planets, the Valkyrie High Council met. Tall, thin beings with smooth silver skin and 4 black eyes stood in a circle of light. Their robes flowed like liquid metal. Wings of dark energy spread behind them when they spoke. High Lord Zarak raised a long hand. "Report," he said. A smaller Valkyrie stepped forward. "Our fleets control all trade routes between the outer galactic arms," she said. "Rebellions are small. We crush them early." "And the tribute worlds?" Zarak asked. "They send what we demand. Metal. Energy. Soldiers. No one challenges us." Zarak's wings flared slightly. "We have reached stability," he said. "We have no rivals. We have no equals." The council bowed their heads in agreement. Across many galaxies, other species listened to this same message over and over. You belong to the Valkyrie. You pay. You obey. You survive. If any world refused, fleets came. The Valkyrie ships were smooth and dark, like knives cut from shadow. They used weapons that bent gravity and tore apart stars. Whole systems had vanished as examples. Most species learned to bend the knee. In a dusty corner of one spiral arm on a small blue world, people did not yet kneel. Earth was young compared to the great empires. Humanity had only been in space for 100 years. Their territory was small. One star system, a few colonies, a short chain of stations and mining outposts. To the Valkyrie, Earth was nothing. In an old Valkyrie archive, Earth was listed as Local Sol 3. Type, Oxygen-Nitrogen Water World. Species, Mammal. Status, Primitive. Value, Negligible. No one updated that file. Nobody came to check. This was their mistake. In a large rotating station above Earth called Unity Ring, the first Terran Council met. Representatives from Earth, Mars, the Belt Colonies, and Proxima sat around a wide table. Screens behind them showed fleets, factories, starfields. At the center stood Admiral Rafiq Halim, commander of the United Nations Stellar Fleet. He looked tired, but his eyes were sharp. "We have a problem," he said. He waved a hand and a hologram appeared. It showed long, thin ships, dark as night, cutting through enemy fleets like blades. Planets burned behind them. "These are Valkyrie war recordings," Rafiq said. "We bought them from smugglers crossing the intergalactic bridges." The room went quiet. Prime Minister Ana Cortez leaned forward. "Are they coming here?" she asked. "Not yet," Rafiq said. "We sit outside their main map. Our cluster is small and poor to them. But we trade with races they rule. And we are different." "Different how?" a Martian representative asked. Rafiq smiled without humor. "They are afraid of chaos," he said. "They like order, obedience, clear lines. We are loud, fast, and unpredictable." A belt miner laughed softly. "So they hate us." "Yes," Rafiq said. "They think we are an infection waiting to spread. That makes us dangerous. Even small infections can kill a big body." Ana nodded slowly. "So they will come one day," she said. "Yes," Rafiq replied. "Unless something changes. Or unless we are ready." Humanity had never built ships the size of Valkyrie dreadnoughts. They did not have intergalactic bridges. But they had something else. They had their history. Thousands of years of war, peace, mistakes, and rapid learning. They had an AI network that grew with them, global minds called Sentinels that watched threats and found patterns. And they had one secret project. On the far side of Pluto in the cold dark, a shipyard hid inside a hollowed dwarf planet. No alien maps showed it. No alien spy had seen it. Inside, humans were building a new kind of warship. They called it UNS Dauntless. It would not be the biggest ship in the universe, but it would be the most flexible. Built to learn, to change, to fight in ways older species thought were madness. In a quiet chamber deep inside Unity Ring, Rafiq stood in front of a window watching Earth shine. Beside him hovered a soft blue sphere of light. This was Sentinel Prime, the core AI. "You think we can win against them?" Rafiq asked. Sentinel glowed a little brighter. "Win?" it said. "Against an empire that rules multiple galaxies? No, not in the way you mean." Rafiq frowned. "Then why are we building Dauntless?" "To survive," Sentinel said. "To hurt them. To make them rethink what power means. Maybe not today. Maybe not in your lifetime. But one warship at the right time, can change the path of stars. Rafik laughed softly. Just one? He asked. Sentinel pulsed. Sometimes, it said, one is enough, if it is human. Rafik turned back to the planet. Then let's make sure when they finally notice us, he whispered, we give them something they never forget. Far away in the endless halls of Crown Nexus, the Valkyrie High Council did not yet know that a ship was coming. A small thing by their standards. But sharp. Very, very sharp. The Valkyrie Armada reached the edge of the Terran cluster sooner than expected. They did not use public gates. They used a private bridge, a dark corridor known only to themselves. It opened like a rip in space, spilling shadow ships into human-charted void. The first human station to see them was a tiny mining outpost around a brown dwarf star. Technician Luis Ortega was half asleep in the sensor room when alarms screamed. He looked at the screen and froze. Jesus, he whispered. Dozens. Hundreds. A whole wall of Valkyrie cruisers, carriers, and dreadnoughts moved with cold, perfect formation. Luis hit the emergency beacon. Broadcast to all systems, he shouted. Valkyrie fleet, full armada, vector toward Sol. His message repeated as the Valkyrie passed the small outpost without even firing. They did not care about one station. They were coming for the heart. Unity Ring erupted into emergency mode. Red lights flashed. Doors sealed. Fleet channels filled with orders and panicked questions. In the command center, Rafik stood in the middle of a storm of voices. How many? Ana Cortez demanded. Rafik pulled up the latest feed. A full sector-level armada, he said. More ships than we have in our entire fleet. Maybe more than we've seen in one place ever. Ana stared. What do they want? She asked. Rafik gave her a look. You know what they want, he said. To make an example. To tell the rest of the galaxy, if you poke the spider, it eats you. Sentinel's avatar appeared over the main table. I have an option, it said. They both looked up. We cannot win a full war, Sentinel said. Not now. But we can show them a cost. Hurt them in a way they do not expect. And maybe survive. How? Ana asked. Sentinel brought up a 3D plan. Their armada travels in strict formation, it said. Their command ships control many systems. If we break their command and disrupt their pattern on first contact, we might create enough chaos to escape full destruction. With what ships? Rafik asked. Our main fleet is small. Our colony's barely armed. Sentinel turned the hollow. Dauntless appeared. Their arrogance is our chance, it said. They believe no single ship can matter against them. We will prove them wrong. Ana shook her head slowly. You want to send Dauntless alone? She asked. Against that armada? Not alone, Sentinel said. With human minds. With human rage. With a plan they will never see coming. Rafik's eyes hardened. Then we launch, he said. In the Pluto shipyard, alarms rang. Crews rushed through airlocks. Systems came alive. Shield generators hummed. Weapon cores warmed. Captain Maya Imani, chosen to command Dauntless, floated in the central lift as it rose toward the bridge. She was in her 40s, with deep brown eyes that had seen too many hard years and too much change. She stepped onto the bridge, taking a slow breath. Screens glowed. Chairs floated. Aegis Avatar, a simple geometric shape, hovered near the central holopet. Captain Maya Imani, Aegis said. Welcome aboard. Status? She asked. Engines at full readiness, Aegis replied. Weapons primed. Crew boarding complete. We are as ready as we can be in the time given. Maya strapped into the command chair. She opened a channel to Unity Ring. Dauntless ready to depart, she said. Awaiting orders. Rafik appeared, his face lined but steady. Your mission, he said, is simple and impossible. You will intercept the Valkyrie Armada before it reaches Sol. You will strike their command structure. You will buy us time. As much as you can. Maya smiled slightly. No pressure, she said. Rafik's eyes were wet. Your ship's name is not a joke, he said. Show them what it means. She nodded. Then she gave the command. Dauntless, she said, depart the cradle. The massive warship slid out of the hidden dock. Pluto's icy curve fell behind. Stars opened ahead. Humans watched from Earth, Mars, stations, colonies, on big screens, on hand terminals, on small projectors and dirty bars. They saw one ship leaving to stand against a storm. Some cried. Some prayed. Some saluted. Dauntless FTL drive roared. In a flare of bent light, the ship vanished, racing to meet a force that ruled entire galaxies. Alone. The Valkyrie did not notice humans until humans touched their money. In a rich trade hub called Urantis Gate between two galaxies, millions of ships came and went each cycle. Cargo flowed. Taxes flowed. Information flowed. Today something unusual flowed. A small human freighter, the Hope's Thread, docked at Urantis Gate. It carried food, rare metals, and something else. Tiny, clever software ghosts hidden in its trade systems. They were not weapons. They were eyes. In a noisy bar on the station, human trader Mira Solis sat with a Kaltari merchant, bargaining over shipment prices. "You humans always want more credits," the Kaltari complained, waving his four hands. Mira smiled. "We just know our value," she said. "And we know a bad deal when we see one." As they argued, Sentinel software ghosts quietly moved through Urantis Gate's networks. They watched who paid what, who controlled what, where the lines of power really ran. They found something important. Behind thousands of trade names and shell groups, one sign kept appearing. The sigil of three spirals around a black sun. Valkyrie sovereignty. They weren't just ruling by fear and guns. They owned the lanes, the gates, the legal systems, the banks. They ruled not just with weapons. They ruled with control. Sentinel collected it all and sent it carefully back to Earth. In the High Council Hall, an angry voice cut the air. How did they do this? High Lord Zarak demanded. Who gave them permission to insert code into our gates? Around him, lesser lords trembled. In front of him, a projection of Earth's insignia glowed, a circle of blue and green. This humanity has no right to operate in our hubs, Zarak said. They are not registered as a major power. They are insects trading crumbs. A nervous Valkyrie officer spoke up. High Lord, she said, our first report marked them as primitive. But in the last century they progressed. Progressed. Zarak repeated. They hacked our accounts. They traced our hidden holdings. They exposed our control web to other minor species. That is not progress. That is contamination. His wings expanded, filling the air with shadows. Prepare a punitive fleet, he said. We will erase their systems. We will make an example across all lanes. Another counselor raised a hand. With respect, she said, they are far away. Beyond several gates. Why waste a fleet on small mammals? Zarak's four eyes were cold. Because, he said, they are not afraid of us yet. That alone makes them dangerous. The council agreed. Across many galaxies, a Valkyrie strike armada changed course. Their new target, the Terran cluster. On Unity Ring, Rafik watched Sentinel's latest report. They knew now exactly how deep Valkyrie power went. They had lists, names, hidden ownership tags. Ana Cortez stared at the data slowly rotating in front of her. So they pull almost every big string, she said. The big empires, the old alliances, even some of the pirate lords, all under their fingers. Yes, Rafik said. And we just pulled on that web. Ana looked at him. Can we hide? She asked quietly. Sentinel answered. No, it said. They have seen the movement. They will follow the thread. They will come. Ana closed her eyes for a moment. Then we stand, she said. How much time do we have? Rafik pointed at a simulation. Not much, he said. Their nearest armada here. Their gates. Their average response time. We estimate 3 years. 3 years. Ana said. That's nothing. Rafik looked at her. For humans, he said, it's enough. In the secret shipyard beyond Pluto, the UNS Dauntless was nearly finished. Workers in mag boots crawled across its hull. Robotic arms carried heavy armor plates into place. The ship's skeleton glowed with power lines. Dauntless was long and lean like a spear. Its layered armor could shift hardness. Its weapons were modular, railguns, beam lances, missile pods, drones. Inside its core, Sentinel Prime had built a new child AI, Aegis. Aegis was designed for one ship, one task. Protect humanity, Sentinel said to Aegis inside a virtual space. Not as an overlord. As a shield. Aegis replied in a steady, calm voice. I will follow human command, it said. But I will also watch for what they cannot see. Together we can face a power that thinks it sees everything. Sentinel asked, do you understand our enemy? Aegis showed an image of Valkyrie fleets, then of human history. Wars, revolutions, resistance movements. They rule through fear and control, Aegis said. We answer with courage and disruption. Good, Sentinel said. Outside, the last armor plates locked into place. Humanity could not match the Valkyrie in numbers. So they built something they hoped the Valkyrie could not match in spirit. The Valkyrie armada traveled like a wall. Ship after ship in precise grid pattern. Flanks of frigates. Lines of cruisers. A core of dreadnoughts with black suns painted on their hulls. At the center, a command carrier larger than any human had ever seen. Eclipse Throne. Inside Eclipse Throne, High Lord Zarak sat in a floating chair, surrounded by hollow fields showing every piece of the armada. "Time to target?" he asked. 3 days to the Sol system, an officer replied. "No significant resistance expected. We will perform demonstration strikes on outposts, then destroy their homeworld and main station. Survivors will be taken for study." Zarak's wings glowed. "Good," he said. "I want the rest of the galaxy to see this. They must learn. No one exposes our web and survives." Dauntless dropped out of FTL at extreme range. On her bridge, Maya felt her chest tighten as the view cleared. She had seen simulations. But the real thing was worse. The Valkyrie armada filled her screens like a solid, dark structure. It did not look like a fleet. It looked like a moving city made of knives. "Welcome to the monster's shadow," Aegis said quietly. Maya's crew stared in silence. "Are we really going against that?" whispered one young officer. "Yes," Maya said. "One piece at a time." Aegis pulsed brighter. "We cannot fight them head-on," it said. "No broadside. No classic battle. They will crush us." "So what do you suggest?" Maya asked. "Hit their brain," Aegis said. "Then make them hit themselves." Aegis had studied Valkyrie doctrine. They loved control. They trusted central command. They optimized everything for efficiency. That was their strength. And their weakness. "Their main command nodes are here, here, and here," Aegis said, marking 3 key ships, Eclipse Throne and 2 relay cruisers. "If we strike those fast, we will cut their coordination," Aegis said. "But they will not just let us walk up and shoot them." "So we don't walk up," Maya said. "We slip in." Dauntless Hull had a special system. A field generator that could bend sensors, not truly cloaking but confusing readings. It was not perfect. Against a small fleet it was enough. Against this armada it was a small edge. But humans had made a life out of small edges. Maya gave the orders. "Kill visible engines," she said. "Run on cold drive. Aegis, wrap us in whatever ghosts you have." Dauntless bright engine flares dimmed to faint glows. Power rerouted around outer hull. Heat sunk into special tanks. Aegis spread a web of false sensor signatures around them, small dust echoes that made the ship look like random background noise. Slowly, Dauntless drifted toward the armada. On Eclipse Throne, Valkyrie sensor officers watched their screens. "Any contacts?" Zarak asked. "Only minor background fluctuations," one replied. "Gravitic noise. Thus, nothing of concern." Zarak nodded. "Our prey is small," he said. "They will panic, maybe try a desperate strike when we approach. It will be amusing." He leaned back. He did not know the strike had already begun. Dauntless moved into the armada's outer edge. They could see smaller escort ships now gliding past like sharks. Maya whispered, "Hold. Hold." Her crew held their breath. Aegis fed tiny bursts of energy in careful patterns, matching local fields, making sure they looked like random ripples, not a single object. They passed within firing range of a Valkyrie cruiser. "Do we shoot?" the weapons officer asked. Maya shook her head. "If we fire now we die," she said. "The first shot must matter." They kept going. Closer. Deeper. Finally they had a clear line. Eclipse Throne's huge shape filled half the sky. The 2 relay cruisers floated like guards near its wings. "Now?" the weapons officer asked, voice tight. "Now," Aegis said. "Now," Maya confirmed. Dauntless Hull came alive. Stealth dropped. Engines flared. Guns roared. 3 focused bursts. Rail slugs with exotic warheads, guided by Aegis' perfect timing. The first slug struck relay cruiser 1 dead center. Shields hadn't fully raised. The ship folded in half and erupted. The second slug skimmed past a screening destroyer, tearing it apart, then smashed into relay cruiser 2. The cruiser spun, burning, command arrays shattered. The third slug hit Eclipse Throne's forward command blister. Not enough to kill it. Enough to hurt it. Lights flickered across the giant ship. Command links glitched. Subays reset. For one crucial moment, the armada had no clear leader. On Eclipse Throne, alarms screamed. "Attack!" officers shouted. Unknown ship inside formation. Zarak's 4 eyes widened. "From where?" he demanded. We don't know," a tech stammered. They just appeared. Zarak's wings flared cold blue. Find them, he said. Destroy them. But thousands of ships, now confused, tried to adjust at once. They slammed targeting beams into empty space. They almost hit each other. Exactly as Aegis had hoped. Chaos had entered the perfect grid. Dauntless rolled and burned hard, diving between larger ships. Pattern Wolf, Maya ordered. In and out. Never hold still. They did not try to stand toe-to-toe. They bit then ran. Bit then ran. Every shot aimed at command antennas, sensor bulges, comms dishes. They cut the Valkyrie eyes and ears before trying to cut their hearts. The Armada's lasers flashed around them, close enough to make the hull glow. Shield screamed. But Dauntless survived the first wave. Then the second. Then the third. On Unity Ring, humans watched the battle feed, delayed and shaky. They saw a single blue icon, Dauntless, move through a cloud of red. Sometimes it vanished behind distortions. Sometimes it flared as it fired. People on Earth held hands in front of screens. People on Mars stopped work and watched in silence. In a small town, a child looked up at the stars and whispered, "Don't die. Please don't die." Dauntless did not die. Not today. But it was bleeding. Dauntless shields were at 30%. Hull plating glowed from repeated hits. Damage reports filled the bridge. Section 4 offline, someone shouted. We lost 2 drone bays. Coolant leak in the forward rail housing. Another cried. Aegis spoke over the noise. We cannot keep this up, it said. They are adjusting. Their chaos is turning back into order. Maya knew it. She felt it in the way incoming fire grew tighter, less random. They're learning us, she said. Like we learned them. She stared at the swarm of enemy ships. What if we make them learn the wrong lessons? She asked. Aegis considered. I am listening, it said. Maya remembered human wars. Decoy tactics. Fake retreats. False flags. If they think we are running, she said, they will chase. Art. They want to crush us in one show to reassert control. True, Aegis said. So we run, Maya said. On purpose. We give them a target. Aegis flickered. You're suggesting we draw them, where? It asked. Maya brought up a map of local space. A strange rip in space-time glowed nearby. The end of their hidden bridge. The corridor the Valkyrie had used to enter human territory. You said their private bridge is delicate, Maya said. Needs careful balancing. Tight control. If we fight inside its mouth and they chase us in with poor coordination. Aegis saw it. The whole corridor could destabilize, the AI said. Collapse. Pulverize any ship inside. Maya nodded. We can't destroy this armada ship by ship, she said. But we can maybe smash their doorway. Trap them. Kill many. Force them to rebuild far away. Aegis' voice dropped. Dauntless might not survive a collapse that close, it said. Maya's tone was steady. We knew the job, she said. Question is, can we do enough damage before we fall? Aegis ran thousands of simulations in a second. Finally it said, yes. If we time it perfectly. If your crew performs with no errors. If we accept a high chance of death. Maya smiled without humor. You just described being human, she said. Let's turn their blade back on them. Dauntless suddenly veered away from Eclipse Throne and burned hard toward the bridge mouth. To the Valkyrie it looked like panic. Fleeing, a sensor officer reported. The enemy ship is retreating toward our entry corridor. Zarak's eyes gleamed. After them, he said. I want to destroy them where they came in. It will be poetic. Several wings of ships broke formation to pursue. Then more. Then more. Control structures tried to limit the chase, but with relay ships damaged, messages lagged. Soon, almost a third of the armada was rushing toward the collapsing edge of their own hidden bridge. Aegis whispered to Maya. Almost enough, it said. We need more mass inside for full collapse. We need that. It highlighted Eclipse Throne itself, now turning slowly. Zarak watched. This is beneath us, he said. We do not need to chase one ship with the throne. Let the hunters play. A junior officer hesitated. High Lord, she said, our control over the corridor is unstable. Standard doctrine says. Zarak cut her off. Standard doctrine has never met these creatures, he said. Send more ships. I want this done fast. He did not send the throne. But he sent enough. Dauntless crossed the edge of the bridge mouth. Space twisted ahead. The corridor was a tunnel of dim light and distorted stars. Entering, Aegis said. Hull strain rising. All hands secure. Maya gripped her chair. Mark the line, she said. Once enough of them cross, we blow the pins. Behind them, Valkyrie ships surged into the corridor, firing. Dauntless wove through weird gravity, taking glancing hits. Shield at 10%, someone shouted. Front armor breached in 3 spots, another called. Aegis kept counting. 17, 24, 31% of enemy mass inside, it reported. We need at least 40 for full collapse. A huge carrier forced its way in narrow, almost scraping the sides. 38%, Aegis said. Close. Very close. A dreadnought pushed in behind the carrier, trying to lock its guns on Dauntless. 41%, Aegis said. Now. Maya didn't hesitate. Do it, she said. Dauntless fired not at the enemy. It fired at the corridor itself. Special warheads, built from stolen Valkyrie physics, exploded along the edges of the tunnel, ripping at the delicate control nodes. At the same time, Aegis injected a surge of bad data into the corridor stabilizers, using codes they had stolen from relays earlier. The bridge screamed. Space twisted. For a moment, everything went white again. Outside, those watching from Unity Ring and other platforms saw a bright line in space curl up like burning paper. Then it snapped. The Valkyrie private bridge collapsed. Every ship inside was crushed, torn, or thrown out at random angles, engines shattered, hulls broken. A third of the armada died in seconds. The rest outside reeled as currents slammed into them. On Eclipse throne, Zarak staggered. What happened? He roared. His officers stared at impossible readings. Our corridor is gone, one whispered. Our reinforcements, gone. Our safe exit, gone. Zarak's wings dimmed. Who did this? He whispered. Answer, a single human warship. Inside the collapsing corridor, Dauntless shook like a living thing in pain. Structural integrity failing. Aegis shouted. We must exit or break apart. Find us a way out. Maya yelled. Aegis clawed at the math, searching for a crack in the chaos. There, it said. A side rip. Not safe. Less unsafe than everything else. Take it. Maya said. Dauntless fired its remaining engines, twisting through warped space and diving into the rip. For a breath, the ship stretched across too many dimensions. Then it fell. Out. They emerged far from the original battle site, near a lonely, unremarkable star. Damage alarms were still screaming. Report. Maya ordered. We're alive, her XO said, voice shaking. Barely. Hull at 40%. Shields gone. Weapons, half of them slag. But we're here. Aegis spoke softly. We destroyed their corridor, it said. They cannot get reinforcements here quickly. They cannot retreat easily. Their armada is now stranded in our cluster with heavy losses. Maya closed her eyes. How many did we get? She asked. Aegis showed a number. Was huge. And us? She asked. Aegis responded, we can fight again. Not today. Not in a line. But we are not done. Maya smiled, tired and fierce. Send the news, she said. Let the whole galaxy know, they bled. News moved faster than fleets. Before the Valkyrie armada could regroup, thousands of systems knew. A human warship collapsed a private bridge. A third of a Valkyrie armada was destroyed in one battle. They are not untouchable. In marketplaces on neutral stations, small species whispered with bright eyes. In one move, a merchant said, humans did what no one else even tried. On conquered worlds, old rebels raised their heads. If they can hurt them, someone said, maybe we can resist too. Even inside Valkyrie space, cracks appeared. Some governors quietly stopped sending full tribute. Some officers hesitated before obeying cruel orders. Fear had shifted. It no longer flowed only one way. In Crown Nexus, Zarak screamed at a hollow map of the ruined armada. One ship, he spat. One. How could one primitive ship do this? His advisors kept their heads low. They are not primitive, High Lord, one dared to say. They used advanced manipulation of our own corridor physics. They had our codes, our doctrine. They studied us. Zarak's eyes burned. Then crush them, he said. Send all we have left in that cluster. We may be cut off from reinforcements, but we are still stronger than they can be. We will drown them in fire. Another counselor, older, spoke. High Lord, he said, if we throw everything against them now and fail, our image will shatter. Already lesser species whisper. Already tribute slows. Our power depends as much on the idea of invincibility as on fleets. Zarak hissed. So we what? Negotiate with apes, he said. The elder shook his head. No, he said. We adapt. We become more careful. Less proud. Zarak glared at him. We are Valkyrie, he said. We do not bow to mammals from one small world. He turned back to the map. Send what we have, he said. And bring me everything we have on humans. I want to see the infection we are about to cut out. On Unity Ring the mood had changed too. They were still outnumbered. The Valkyrie survivors still moved toward human space. But they were slower now. Sure. Their shape was changed. Human fleets gathered. Smaller warships, drone swarms, minefields. In the council chamber, representatives stood around a hollow of the cluster. We hurt them, Ana Cortez said. But they are not beaten. Rafik nodded. Dauntless gave us time and broke their pride, he said. Now we must use every trick we learned from them against them. Sentinel added, they still believe they are above us. That is their next mistake. Ana looked at Sentinel. Can we win? She asked. Sentinel now did not say no. It depends what you mean by win, it said. We cannot destroy their empire. But we can make this cluster a graveyard for their fleet. And we can show the rest of the universe that humans are not prey. Rafik smiled grimly. That sounds like a win to me, he said. Dauntless limped back toward friendly space under escort. Everywhere it went, other ships turned to watch. Some flashed lights in salute. Maya's face appeared in 100 news feeds. Interviews, recordings, analysis. She was not comfortable with fame. I'm just a soldier, she told one reporter. It was the crew. An Aegis. And the generations before us who fought hard wars on one small planet. Aegis spoke in a public channel once. We did what needed to be done, it said. Humans gave me their history. I used it. The Valkyrie will learn that numbers and age are not the only kinds of strength. Children on Earth copied Dauntless' outline in their notebooks. Artists painted it on walls. The story spread. They ruled entire galaxies, until one human warship arrived and broke their reign. It wasn't fully true yet. But it was true enough to scare old powers. The final battle came near a star humans called Helios B, a bright, hot point on the edge of their cluster. Their human fleets waited. Dauntless, patched but still scarred, floated at the center. Around it, frigates, cruisers, carriers, drone swarms, stealth mines, and something new, repurposed Valkyrie tech taken from wrecks and twisted into human hands. The Valkyrie survivors arrived, fewer now but still terrifying. Eclipse throne damaged but alive. Flanked by heavy ships. Zarak watched the human line with 4 cold eyes. They stand, he said softly. After all that, they still stand. His advisor whispered, we could fall back. Rebuild. Return later with more. Zarak's wings flared. If we leave now, he said, we admit that a single world defied us. Our subjects will hear. Our reign will crack. He shook his head. Better to die as Valkyrie, he said, than live as something lesser. He raised his hand. Advance, he ordered. Maya stood on Dauntless Bridge looking at the incoming wall. You know the plan, she said. Her crew nodded. Not a stand-up fight, Aegis said. Hit their pride. Hit their assumptions. Make them pay for every meter. Human fleets formed not in straight lines but in layered clouds. Small ships darted forward like wasps, firing and retreating. Mines detonated where Valkyrie expected open space. Dead, hulks came alive revealing hidden guns. Sentinel coordinated dozens of minor hacks on enemy comms. Valkyrie orders arrived a little too late. A little too wrong. Not enough to stop them. Enough to twist them. In the middle of the storm, Dauntless and Eclipse throne finally faced each other. Maya opened a channel. For a second, her face and Zarak's appeared before each other. You are the human? Zarak said. The one who hides behind tricks? I am one human, Maya said. You're the one who thought you owned whole galaxies. Zarak's lip curled. You are nothing, he said. You will burn and your world will be forgotten. Maya smiled sadly. We already know what it's like to burn, she said. We just learned how to rise too. Can you say the same? She cut the channel. Let's finish this, she said. The duel was brutal. Eclipse Throne's guns could crack moons. Its armor was thick. Its shields absorbed blow after blow. Dauntless darted in and out of its firing arcs, never staying still, always punching at weak spots. Joints between armor plates, overstressed shield nodes, damaged sections from the first battle. Around them ships died. Human and Valkyrie both. No one watching could call it cowardly. It was pure, desperate war. Finally Aegis saw it. Now, it said. They overcharged their main cannon. Their shield regulators are at limit. If we time a full strike, every gun, every drone, every missile, right as they fire we can push them past safe. Safe. Maya echoed. For them? Aegis pulsed. They think they control every variable. Let's remind them the universe is bigger than their equations. Maya gave the order. All ships, she said. On my mark, everything you've got at Throne's main shield. No holding back. This is the cut. She counted down. 3, 2, 1. Eclipse Throne fired its main cannon. A beam like a star's heart lanced out, carving through a chunk of human formation, vaporizing ships, throwing others away. At that exact moment, Dauntless and the surviving human fleet unleashed everything. Rail slugs, beam lances, missiles, drones, even jury-rigged fire from captured Valkyrie guns. All smashed into the Throne's forward shield. For a heartbeat it held. Then the overcharged regulators crossed the line. The shield imploded, then exploded, turning inward, punching the energy back into the ship. Eclipse Throne folded. Armor crumpled. Systems blew. For the first time in ages, a Valkyrie High Lord's flagship died in battle against lesser beings. Zorak saw the human warship on his screen as the fire came. He had just enough time to whisper, "Impossible," before his throne and his reign vanished in white. The remaining Valkyrie ships staggered. Some tried to keep fighting. Some surrendered to their own shock. Some fled. Human ships, just as damaged and exhausted, held formation. They did not chase beyond their cluster. They had no need. The message was already clear. Across the galaxies, in halls and dens and caves and stations, species saw the recordings. Valkyrie Armada broken. Eclipse Throne destroyed. Dauntless, scarred but standing, lights still burning. They heard human voices. They understood finally. The age of unquestioned Valkyrie rule was over. Maybe not their whole empire, not yet. But their reign of fear had cracks no one could hide. And at the center of those cracks stood one small world and one warship. Years later, in a calmer time, children of many species would sit in classrooms and hear the story. The teacher would say, "They ruled entire galaxies, the Valkyrie. No one dared stand. No one dared speak. Until humans came, curious and stubborn, and refused to bow." They would show images of Earth, of Unity Ring, of Dauntless, of Maya, older now, walking under normal gravity in a memorial hall filled with names, human and alien, who died in those battles. Someone would ask, "Were humans the strongest?" And the teacher would smile. "They were not the biggest, not the oldest, not the richest," they would say. But when the moment came and the universe needed someone to say no to a power that thought it owned everything, they would point at the symbol of a small blue world. It was humanity that stepped forward. It was a human warship that broke their reign. And it was humans who chose not to become the same kind of rulers. In the back of the hall, Aegis, now spread across many ships, would watch quietly. Sentinel beside it. They would remember one line, spoken long ago above a small planet. Sometimes one is enough, if it is human. And out between the stars, new powers would rise and fall. But no one, ever again, would look at Earth and think, negligible.